What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Doghouse. Happy to have you here. We did promise we were going to get another video put up this week, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to cover a little bit of news, and then we've got a pretty exciting video lined up for this week. First off, we're going to start off with, right after we had posted the video last Monday, it was announced that Josh Gordon would not be coming for camp. He is instead going to return to what we can presume to be a treatment facility to continue working on his addiction problems. Everybody's really been kind of down on him all week long and kind of knocking him and stuff like that. I get it. This would have been his first full training camp since he came into the league in 2012. He is going to miss at least a portion of camp. It's undecided as to when exactly he's going to return, but all we know now is that he is going back for what we can presume is more treatment to deal with his drug issues. Again, everybody's been kind of down on him. Give the guy a break. He's attempting to better himself and keep himself healthy. Beyond football, this is the most important thing he could do. I mean, this trumps football any day. So give him a break, let him get himself right, and hopefully we see him back before the regular season. In other news, once the Josh Gordon news broke, everybody went into panic mode. We're trying to decide what we're going to do with receiver. I believe it was Friday. A story broke that the Browns were going to be talking to Dez Bryant about a one-year contract, which is exactly what he was looking for. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how things pan out there, just because we don't know what Dez's interest is in the Browns, how high of an interest level he would have in playing with the Browns. But if this is something they're looking into, I don't know. I mean, are we really expecting Josh back short term, or this is going to be more of a long-term thing if we're looking at Dez? Dez is going to expect big money for a one-year contract. We all know that. Dez is historically known for going after more money and bigger contracts every couple of years. So it will be interesting to see what happens there, if there's a whole lot of substance to that story or if it's just hearsay at this point. Browns also worked out Adam Pac-Man Jones on Friday. Again, the front office continuing to try to add to that secondary, keep putting pieces in place. Again, don't know if a deal's been worked out, but it was reported that they were supposed to have workouts with Pac-Man on Friday. All right, like I said, we were going to head out to training camp this week, and that's exactly what we did. We watched the weather very closely for the opening day of training camp. There were some storms on the horizon, but luckily we decided to go out there, and everything held off until right after camp was over. So without further ado, we are going to get into camp. Just as a word of warning, if you are sensitive to flashing images, you may want to look away from the screen for the next minute and 4 seconds, because through the magic of technology and science, we are going to warp our hour and 10-minute drive down into, well, a minute and 4 seconds. Here we go. Alright, now that we've gotten here safely in Berea, let's take a little tour around the facility and see everything they have to offer to the fans. I apologize in advance for the shaky video you're about to see. My hands are not as steady as I thought they were when I'm walking. So the Browns really kind of hook the fans up, take care of everybody. We've got a cooling station over there with misting fans. We got complimentary bottles of water, and just in case the crowd gets a little too rowdy, we've got a first aid station back here as well. This cart right here is kind of cool. It's a giant display board that gets pulled around the field so the coaches can review plays while they're conducting practice. However, it would become my nemesis later in the practice because every time I found the perfect angle for my shot, this cart showed up and completely blocked my view. Each year, the Browns host the APL, and they bring out dogs and place them up for adoption at training camp. This seems to be one of the hot spots to visit while you're at training camp. Come on by, pet the dogs, and take one home. The Browns always have a number of activities for the kids to enjoy as well. We have the Play 60 Gauntlet where they can put their future NFL skills to the test. We have the inflatable field goal slide and the field goal kick challenge for the kids as well. And for Browns fans young and old, you can test your skills at the vertical jump, see how fast you clock in at the 40-yard dash, as well as see how you measure up against some of our favorite Browns players. There's lots of cool pieces of art placed throughout the camp. These bobbleheads were my personal favorite, and I'm no criminal by any means. I've never stolen a thing in my life, but Joe Thomas here was a little hard to resist. I had to talk myself down from trying to sneak him out of camp. As we all know by this point, everyone's favorite football documentary series is out at Browns camp this year, recording the next season of Hard Knocks. It is pretty apparent pretty quickly that they are there, and they are there in force. So, I learned the easy way to identify a Hard Knocks crew, and it is as follows. Alright, the reason we're all here. We want to see the Browns players live in action on the field, right? Well, wait no more. The time has come. Usually every Browns practice is broken down into sections. The beginning and end of each section is signified by an air horn. And usually the first team on the field is going to be special teams. You see the linemen coming out, lining up for some mock field goals. They run those drills. And then when the air horn sounds, they move on to their next station, usually with their own specific position group. And they run their position drills after that. So let's take a look at some of those. Now, if there's one thing I learned while watching the running backs, it's that Duke Johnson is quite the ladies' man. In fact, one fan had so much trouble containing herself, I was suddenly swept into a world where I was stuck somewhere in the middle between the movie Swim Fan and front row to Justin Bieber concert.
Duke, we love you! Right there, Duke,
After all the individual group drills are done, the quarterbacks get together with running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, and they work on throws and handoff timing. Now, usually while practice is going on, there's one voice that stands out amongst them all. No matter where you are, in Berea, outside, at the facility, there's one voice that stands out, and that voice belongs to...
Play action, we have a lead in the pocket. You got a key, you got an ad. Here we go.
Making me nervous.
5 minutes. Wait a minute.
Sitting there listening to Greg during practice definitely cracks me up. The guy's known for being a really intense coach, in your face all the time. You never really do get a full feel for just how intense the guy is until you get there live in practice. Definitely glad to have him on our side. Now that all the individual and group drills are done, this is the main event. This is the reason everybody comes to training camp, and that's to see the 11-on-11 offense versus defense team activities. This is where you're actually going to see real gameplay take place. And here's a look at some of the better plays from day one. Now, if you recall, back on the Big O Breakdown episode, we talked about Tyrod Taylor liking those short and intermediate throws, and that's exactly what he put on display during camp. We also have video here of Baker throwing the long bomb down the field for what would have been a touchdown. And we also have one more of Baker missing on a throw. Looks like the receiver could have turned around just a hair too early looking for the ball. And that's pretty much it. After the 11-on-11 drills, the teams get together, they huddle up for a few minutes, then they break things down and go mingle with the fans. They'll take pictures with you. We got autographs here and our handy-dandy Browns ball, lots of them. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun shooting the video. We will be going back out Sunday to shoot another video and get some more content for next week's episode. Until then, thanks for tuning in to the Doghouse.